Well, welcome back. It's another edition of SNG Experience. We're starting off here on Tuesday. Didn't shoot much yesterday. In fact, I didn't shoot anything. Here in the studio, and I'm working on a lizard. Yes, a lizard, because there's a scene that we have, and I just boned this lizard. I just did the traditional boning, and it's just such a good model. I got it off Turbo Squid and paid for it, and you can get an idea how it's going to look in his hand, although that's just laid in there. There's been no animation in it. I just stuck it in there, matched the lighting, and see how it would look, which it looks pretty good. And now that it's boned, I can actually go into the scene and put this in his hand and have it move and all that kind of great stuff. So I'm real pleased with that. Out here in the studio, we'll go look what else I'm working on. Finally, this is looking really nice. I got flat black paint. A lot of the problem that I'm facing right now is the weather. So, oh, there's a bug crawling on it. Ooh. But it's looking a lot better. And tomorrow I'm seeing them and have to primer more of the bottom. I got some fuzzies here, so flat sand this again, a little more primer, but it's getting there. In fact, let's put it together and see how it looks now that it's all one color. So here we are. I've got it closed up, and boy, does this boat look a lot better. So we still need to put more on tomorrow. And you know, I had this thing closing just perfectly, but it's cold now. And being that this is polyester resin, at least in my opinion, it likes to flex, and it'll get warm and it'll go tight again. And I'm having the problem on both sides, but overall, I mean, it's really quite pretty, and the right black at long last. So that's going along really well. And Giselle's been working on the baby, and you can see it's in the plastic bag right now. She's really got the hands quite nice, and it's really starting to look quite cool. Here we are. It's Wednesday, and Zamira and Giselle are here, and so is Mary.
I'm here.
And yes, and so is the Enterprise, and so am I, and so is the lizard, who is down here, who I just animated. He's a happy guy. This is going to be, very lizard-like. So that's going to be composited by the awesome Isaac, whenever he gets here, into our background and tracked in. And over here is the Iron Giant, which I've been cutting out his front view. And since there's no side view available on the internet, I found this, which I know is accurate, according to Mr. Bird himself. So this is my template for the profile, which is an extrapolation from this being slightly at an angle. Although, interestingly enough, even though the legs are slightly at an angle, this is not. It's dead on. The rivets tell me that. It's the way they're showing. So, and it's the same size as this. Exactly. And so that will allow me to take this MDF and cut it with my new skill saw, because the other one, what they call it, an orbital saw. The other one died after many years, so I think I had it since 1985. I think it served me well. So we got a new one, and so now we're going to start on his body. So this is sort of like hard sculpting, and you have to kind of go by the dimensions here and what you get from 2D or 1D, and then try to translate it to here. What I'm finding works really well is this great stuff here I got from Lowe's a while ago for set building, and then I cut this stuff out instead of the plastic, because I can fudge it and change it and shape it like clay to what looks right to me by eye, and then it all starts to fit. This should be flat to this and this, which it is, and goes around to here and then wraps around the back eventually. But once I get this pattern right, like this one here, which is the chest, which curves back, slopes back like this, then I use these to cut styrene and shape it with the styrene. Okay, another great day here, Wednesday, and this is starting to work. I'm a little high here somehow, or I'm not. I can't decide based on these pictures. Maybe that I'm really just about on the money, but I'm thinking I might have to take off like this much, drop this down to about here. I knew this would happen, but you know, drawings and pictures and all that kind of stuff, they can lie to you. Now there's a piece I have to work out under here of cardboard, and then a piece that goes around this way here. It goes up to there, and it's a very precise piece. What I'm not doing is this. This will be separate, this whole piece, because with this piece right here to there, that's all a separate piece we're going to do separately. So I'm just looking at doing it right up to there, nice and flat on both sides. And so that's what you see here. And the reason it goes so far down like that is because I've got that piece that fits here, that comes down from there. So that's that part right there. So it's, you know, in an angle a bit. I'm getting it. I'm getting there. But you can see that this piece is getting pretty close to the way it should be. Once I have this right, then these pieces will come apart, and I'll use these as templates to cut styrene with. This piece here I've made, it seems a bit long to me, but then the photographs are at an angle. So again, I think this should come down a bit. This should go back a little bit more, but then again, we know this model is accurate according to Mr. Bird. And if we look at it from the side, like so, and then we look at this, it's really pretty much the same. So we're really, really close. I might be a little off, and only the rivet counters will notice. But it's quite a big part to do on this, and probably the hardest part to do. But it's coming along well for just working on it a couple hours and figuring out this. Using this cardboard for the templates was the smartest thing I could do. So we're on to it. And Paulina's working on the sculpture some more. I just about have it finished. The next thing to do, of course, I'll be able to make a mold and make it out of silicone. I'm going to make a 1630 mold. Really nice. Good job. Okay, so last we left off here, I didn't shoot a lot this week, but in closing, of course, I always love looking at our guy. It turns out he has 4 rings going up here, which I will have to make another ring for, but that's not a problem. Here's how far I got on this part, and it's pretty darn good now. What throws you is, well, this is, I got to remove a little strip off of that. There's little adjustments that have to be done. The armpits are kind of interesting, and then I figured out what was going on with them. Thankfully, because of the internet and videos. And again, Adam Savage told me that this toy, and he told me this personally, is accurate because he's friends with Brad Bird, who is the director. So you can see that part right there pretty clearly, and how it works. I can tell how it goes around from this side, and I know about this part here that fits over, and you can see it here. So I figured out what that shape was, and I made it again out of cardboard. I got it to fit just right, the angles to be right, because it doesn't go straight. You can see it's an angle to this, so you have this and this. Now that I have it made out of cardboard, I'll next, and you'll see this in next week's video, I will take these 2 pieces apart, flatten them, and then I'll be able to actually cut them out of styrene, which is what I'm going to be doing later today. But the back's been started, just roughly tacked in the position. This actually needs to have a little length added to it, which is really not a problem. So there's little stuff like that, but basically the chest is starting to look pretty neat, pretty good, and it's huge compared to the head, but that's how it really is, and he's got a little tiny head. So I'm very pleased with this styrene. Eventually it'll all be putty filled and sanded and primered, and then we'll make a mold on it. I have rivets on order for it, and the rivets are basically these little half dome guys like this. Now these are the larger ones which go around the waist, but basically I've got more on order, and they'll just be glued on like so. I'm actually going to make a mold on these so I can make lots of them, because if I bought bags fulls of these, it would cost actually a lot of money, because you only get 5 of these for about $6. So much easier just to make a mold in silicone and make more. What else? Of course, last we left off the slot car. That's as far as we got with it, and I still need to do more work on that, obviously, but it's getting further along. Zamira has been working on Deadpool here, which I did not show when I was shooting all during the week, but you can see she started this line, which will be softened a bit. These are going to be molded in alginate, prosthetic grade alginate, and then vacuum formed just like the originals were, and then they'll be fitted into this. This whole thing is going to be cast out of foam, polyfoam, and then cut up, and then real fabric put over it. So probably most of this will be cut away, and a lot of this will be cut away down here, and it's going to hang down, and we have a real fabric, but this will support the top of the head. Now, just so it looks cool on display, if I cast up a display mask, Carl Soto's great idea of using burlap gave it a nice fabric effect on top, so that we'll be doing. And then of course over here, Giselle's little baby. I'm not quite sure how she's got this bagged up, but we'll unbag it. This plastic bag is sticking. Anyway, you can see how well she's been doing, and it's got little toes now, and little wrinkles here and there she's been working on. She's really doing a nice job on it. So we're looking forward to this being done, because we're hoping this week to make a mold. A little bit like the baby at the end of 2001, but a much different head. So that's really what's going on. Of course, we'll be finishing the submarine next week and giving it its sea trials. But that's pretty much it from SNG for this week. And again, thanks so much for all your support and all your comments and posts. We love you a whole bunch, and we'll see you next week.